Thank you for attending the Heartland Timekeeping recorded webinar. During this webinar, you will learn how to use the day-to-day operations of Heartland Time. When you single sign on from Heartland Payroll into Heartland Time, you will be brought to your dashboard. On the dashboard, you will see items that need your attention, you will see items that need your approval, and then you will also see your team's current status, whether they're clocked in or clocked out or have not clocked in at all. The first thing that we are going to cover is how you hire a new hire. When hiring or terminating employees, you will want to do that in Heartland Payroll. Heartland Time's primary source of information is Heartland Payroll. Once you have hired a new hire in Heartland Payroll, the employee information will sync over during an overnight sync, or you can do this manually. To access your employees, you will go into the Employees tab, and here is the Sync from Payroll button. Once the employee is visible and has been synced over from Heartland Payroll, you will select on the employee. The first thing that you are going to do is under the Compensation Info tab, you will assign the employee's pay group and click Continue. The next thing that you are going to do is you are going to go to the Employment Info tab and you will scroll down and you will assign the employee supervisor by clicking on the pencil. If they are a supervisor, to assign them as a supervisor, or you will click on the pencil here to assign the employee's supervisor to them. You will give it an effective date and you will click Save. The next thing that you are going to do is you are going to assign the settings to the employee. Most of you will have employee templates on your account, and so you will simply go to this blue button that says Assign a Template, and you will select the template to assign to the employee. You will give it an effective date, and you will click Save. This will bulk update all of the information under these tabs. Please note that you can go in and individually assign the information to the employees as needed as well, by simply going to the area that you are needing to update, selecting what you need to update, giving an effective date, and clicking Save. The last thing that you will do when hiring a new hire is you will send out the account registration email to the employee by typing in the email address and clicking Send Registration Email. Please also note that your employees can register by going to the web link listed here and using the company ID listed in the profile as well. There are a couple of errors that I would like to point out. The first error is if you are utilizing Heartland Hire, your employees will need to sign up with the email address that they registered with Heartland Hire. The next error that could happen is according to the date of birth or the social security number. Please make sure that the date of birth and the employee's social security number is correct when they are registering. The next thing that we are going to cover is the scheduling feature of Heartland Time. To access the scheduling feature in Heartland Time, you will go under Team Management to Schedule. The first thing that we are going to cover is how to create a schedule template. You will click on Templates, and you will click Add Template. You will create the shift start time, the shift end time. You will name the shift, whatever is appropriate to your company. You can select the job tied to the shift. You can also select the location tied to the shift, and then you will assign it a color. You can assign a break to the shift as well, and you will click Save. The next thing that we are going to cover is how to assign a schedule and a schedule template. You will go to the Schedule tab. Next to the employee that you are wanting to schedule, there is a plus sign. You can select on the plus sign. You can choose the template to assign to the employee, and you can click Create. Please note that you do not have to have a template created in order to schedule an employee. You can simply click on the plus sign, enter the start and end time, you can give it a name, you'll give it a color, you can add in the break if needed. You can also tell the system to repeat this on certain days, how often to repeat it, and when to end it, and then you can click Create. The next feature that we are going to be covering is how to bulk assign a shift. You will go to Options, and you will go to Bulk Assign. You will select the employees that you're wanting to bulk assign a shift to. You will select the template that you're wanting to use for the assign. You will tell it how often to create, what days you want this to be created for. You will tell it when to end, and you will save. The next thing that we are going to cover is how to delete a shift from an employee. If you hover over the punch, there will be a trash can that will show up. You will click on the trash can. It will ask you if you are sure, and then you will click Delete. You can also bulk remove shifts from an employee by going to Options, Bulk Delete, select the employees that you are wanting to bulk delete shifts for, give it a date range, select which template, and then you will click Delete. Please note that after you are done making your schedule or making edits to your schedule, you will want to click Publish for this to become visible to your employees. You can also choose to send notifications to the employees of the schedule update. If you do not have an employee on this list that should be on the list, you will want to make sure that the employee is a shift-based user in their employee profiles. You will go back to the Employees tab, select on the employee in question. You will go to the Time and Attendance tab. You will go to Shift Schedules, and you will assign an approval path if there is one. Give that an effective date, and you will also make them a shift schedule-based user and give that an effective date as well. And click Save. Once this information is done, you should be able to refresh the screen and the employee should be listed under the Shift Schedules section. And here is the employee listed. The next section that we are going to cover is going to be the team timesheet section. Under the All Timesheets tab, you will want to make sure that you filter to the current period that you are working with to avoid seeing duplicate employees. And you will click Apply. Please note that you do have filters here that you can utilize to filter selected employees. And you also have the settings gear where you can change the columns that you are able to quickly view on this screen. To view a timesheet, you will simply go into the employee's timesheet by selecting the employee's name. This is the view of a punch time entry timesheet. This will be for those of you who are having your employees clock in and out. To add in a punch, you can click Add Punch here, or you can go to the date next to the day with the plus sign of the missing punch and click on that. To add in an end punch, you will make sure that N is selected. You will enter the time of the missing punch. You will select the job if necessary for your account, and you will click Save. Please note that there is a repeat button to repeat an end punch on multiple days. We now have a missing punch because it has been longer than the duration of a workday for the account. To add in the missing punch, you can simply click on Missing Punch, or you can do that by adding in with the plus sign in either of these locations as well. You will add in the punch that is missing, whether that is a break punch or an out punch. You will put in the time of the out punch, and you will click Save. If you are missing a break punch in the middle, you can simply add those by clicking the plus sign and selecting break, selecting the break type, which meal break or rest break will be listed here, depending on your account settings, and you will click Save. Whenever returning from work, you will want to make sure that you are utilizing the resume punch. If you are a duration-based user, you will simply go in under duration and click Add Duration. You will make sure that the date is correct for the date that you are wanting to add work duration for. You will enter the number of hours worked. You can repeat if necessary, and you will click Save. The next timesheet that we are going to cover is going to be in and out. If your employees are only putting in and out times, you will go next to the date. You will click Add in and out time. You will enter the start time and the end time. You can repeat if necessary, and you will click Save. Please note that at the bottom of your timesheet, if enabled, there is a pay summary that will show the amount that the employee will be paid, as well as the time duration for hours worked. At the end of your pay period, employees will want to review their times and they will want to submit their timesheet for your approval. And they will do that by doing that. Please note that as an admin, you can submit timesheets for your employee as well. If you go to the Not Submitted tab, this will filter to only the employees that are not submitted. You can bulk select employees by clicking this box, or you can only click the employees that you are wanting to submit times for. You will go to Bulk Actions and Submit. Please note that if you make any changes to your payrolls during a pay period, or an employee's pay is changed, or any necessary changes like that, there is also a recalculate option that you will want to use to recalculate the employee's timesheet to make sure that the proper pay is reflecting on the employee's timesheet. Once the timesheets are submitted to you for approval or to their supervisors for approval, they will be listed under Waiting for Approval. You can again select on the employee to view the timesheet, and you can submit this way by clicking Force Approve. Or if you do know and you have already viewed the employee's times, you can select on multiple employees. You can go to Bulk Actions and approve from here as well. And now your 3 timesheets are approved for the pay period. I do want you to note that if you are seeing employees listed multiple times, that you will want to make sure that the date for the current period that you are working on is selected. If you include dates outside of the current period, this is when you will see multiples of employees. The last thing that we are going to cover in this section is what to do if your employee isn't listed. Likely, a timesheet has not been assigned to the employee. What you will do is you will go to your employee's profile. You will select on the employee whose timesheet isn't listed. You will go to the Time and Attendance tab. You will go to the Timesheet section. You will select the timesheet associated with that employee. You will choose an effective date. You will choose an approval path, as well as the timesheet period, and you will click Save. Now your employee should be listed under the Team Timesheet section. Here's the employee. The next section that we are going to cover is the Team Time Off section. Please note that you can search by employees by clicking directly in the search bar. You have the option to filter by different employee filters as well. To add a time off booking for an employee, you will simply click Add Time Off. You will select on the employee that you are wanting to add time off for. You will select the accrual type. You will give it a time frame of which the employee will be requesting time off for, or you will select all day, and you will click Submit. To approve a time off booking, once it has been submitted from the employee, it will be listed here under All, or it will be listed under Waiting for Approval. You will select on the employee's name related to the booking, and you will go in and you will approve it. You can also make necessary changes by clicking Edit. Now this time off booking has been moved to the Approved tab. Please note that you also have a Rejected tab, as well as a Not Submitted tab. The bookings under the Not Submitted tab are likely bookings that your employees are currently working on. I do also want to point out that you do have a bulk actions box here as well. You can go in to the employee's timesheet, select on it, and you can bulk delete the option. And then if it's waiting for approval, you can bulk approve, bulk reject, or delete. The next section that we are going to cover under Team Time Off is the Team Balance section. This is where you will go to adjust time off balances, as well as view the history of the accruals. If you select on the employee, you will filter by the plan in question. You will select the history that you're wanting to view, and it will pull off any changes to the accrual history, whether it was a booking, hours added, or hours accrued. To adjust the time off, you will simply click Adjust Time Off Ledger. You will select the date that you're wanting this to be effective for. You can choose to either add or subtract hours, any details, and you will click Save. Now you will see that hours were added. The next section that we are going to cover is going to be this Calendar tab. Under the Calendar tab, you will see a calendar's view of time off requests and approvals listed here. Please note that if you do not have an employee listed that should be listed, you will want to check and make sure that a time off policy has been assigned to the employee. You will do this by going into the employee's profile, selecting on the employee in question. You will go to the time and attendance section. You will go to the time off section. You will select on the approval path, give that an effective date. You can also assign your company's holiday policy here. And then here under Assign New Time Off Policy, you will click this. The policies that are built into your account will be listed here. You will select on the policy. You will tell the policy how many hours to begin with. You will give it an effective date, and you will click Save. I also wanted to quickly cover if an employee's booking ever shows 0 hours. You will see this under the Team Time Off section, under the employee booking, right here under the requested time of this booking, it may at some point say 0 hours. Please note that if you are using the shift scheduling feature, the employee must be scheduled the day of the shift for the time off booking to show hours for the request. Once you have scheduled the employee for the duration of work of the day of the request, you will have an actual hour duration auto update. If you are not using scheduling, in the Employees tab, under the employee in question, you will go to the Time and Attendance section, under Time Off, and under the Time Off Balance settings, you will want to make sure that the schedule type is listed and that their work days are selected. You will choose whether or not to deduct hours from a time off balance for booking on a holiday. You will give the time frame that the employee will likely work during those days of the week. And then you will tell the system how long a normal shift will be. And you will click Save. This duration is how the system knows how many hours to pay the employee for holiday or time off bookings. The next thing that we are going to cover is how to view as an employee. Once you've selected on the employee, you can click View as Employee. This will take you into the employee's profile so you can see what selections they have and are able to request in their employee portal. Please note, depending on your account settings will depend on the options that you have listed to view here. To return from the employee portal, you will simply click on Back to Employer, and this will take you back to the employee's profile. The next thing that we are going to quickly cover is how to prepare for payroll, or the steps you will take in processing payroll. What you will do is, once your timesheets have been approved for the pay period, you will go to Prepare for Payroll. What you are going to do is you are going to click Start New Pay Run. You will filter by the dates of the current pay period and click Apply. You will select on the employees that you will be sending to Heartland hours for, and you will click Next. Please note that you do have a filter option here as well. And you can also use the Settings button to change the headers that are available here for view. Once you click Next, you will see a brief summary of what you will be sending to Heartland Payroll. Once you have verified that this information is correct, you will finalize your pay run, and then you will click Send to Heartland Payroll. The next thing that we are going to quickly cover is the Reports menu. You have timesheet reports, you have time off reports, you have schedule reports, and you have your payroll report. I'm going to show you how to pull a report. I am going to use the hours by day, and you will click View Full Report. You can filter this information by employee, and this will show you each day, work location, etc. These will be chosen by the settings that you have chose to display here. You can also filter in this screen as well. You will also have the option to download this report as a CSV. The last thing that we are going to briefly cover is how to set up an iPad. You will do this under the Time Clock Devices section. On your iPad, you will download the Heartland Time Clock app. Once this has been downloaded, you will be able to register by selecting a link at the bottom of the login information. You will click Add New Device in Heartland Time. You will type in the code that is on the iPad. You will select the identification method related to the iPad, either Face ID and or PIN, and you will click Save in Heartland Time and you will click Register on the iPad. This does conclude the training. If you have any additional questions, you are more than welcome to reach out to taa.pos.productsupport at e-hps.com or the payroll product support specialist that was assisting you during your Heartland Time setup. We hope you have a wonderful day.